In this lesson, I'd like to go over a couple of the presets inside the library browser that require a little bit of tweaking, or they actually require a specific shape. So let's go in the library browser, and the first one I want to show you is the topiary objects, which are really awesome to create hedges of any shape that you want. And then we've got the hedges over here. So let's start with these guys over here. The thing that is important to know is that they do need to be a 3D polygon object. You cannot use it on a flat surface at all. It needs to be a 3D shape. So what I'm going to do is I've got a couple of examples here that I'd like to show you. The second thing that is very important is that the object needs to have correct UVW mapping coordinates. Now there are obviously two ways of doing this. Number one is if it is a primitive object, meaning you've created it straight from 3D Max, you can simply click generate mapping coordinates and tick real world scale. If it is an object like these that you have created yourself, you will need to create a UVW mapping modifier like this, put it on box, and then click real world scale on. So let's test these out. Forest pack, let's select this object here. We're going to go straight into the library. We're going to pick this one right over there, click, and let's load it. Say yes. Give it a couple of seconds, and then you'll see that it is really big. So we can change some of these parameters very easily. Global scale, let's turn that to about 30%. Then we can go straight into the distribution slot, and let's bring this down until it's fully loaded. Next, what we can do is we can actually select the object that it is scattering on, and what we can do is, because we don't want to see it in the render, we can simply go right click, go to object properties, and then we're going to untick renderable, which means it will not be part of the render, and click OK. Inside the forest pack, let's actually add all the other items. So with the plus button, we can just simply click and click and click, and we'll see all these shapes as hedges. And then let's grab a render, let's start the rendering process and have a look. So immediately you can see how really cool this is and really easy it is to use. Now if you have forgotten to use the real map world scale, or perhaps untick them, you will see the results immediately are different. So let's go into the shape over here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to untick real world scale and the generate mapping coordinates, and you can see it doesn't even render. Generate mapping coordinates and then real world scale, and then you'll get the correct results from that. So that's really important for the topiary objects. Next on our list would be the hedges. So let's go under forest pack. I'm going to select this spline right over here. So that's the first thing, making sure that it is a spline. Let's go underneath library. Let's pick this hedge right over there. Double click. We're going to say yes. Give it a couple of seconds to load. And if nothing has appeared, that is because we need to add the distribution. You'll notice that it immediately goes to path. So now we need to add this path. Remember, plus button. Then we click, and then it will appear. Let's have a look what that looks like in a render. And you can see, perfect hedge. Stop, close. The last one I'd like to show you, if we go underneath forest pack, let's select this cube over here. Let's go underneath the library, and I want to go underneath vertical. Now next to each name right over here, you'll see it'll say UV or XY. And if you remember, UV is for a 3D box or a 3D object, whereas the XY is for a flat surface. So for example, we've already selected this cube. If I had to choose the incorrect one, it will not render. So making sure that we always choose the correct one. So whether it's UV or XY. UV is the box. I'm going to double click, say yes, and then it will show itself. If I want to choose it on a flat surface, I can select the forest pack. I can go into library, making sure that I choose the XY, click OK, and it will render perfectly. And that is the same for as a curved object. So if it's 3D, it's UV box. If it's flat, it's going to be an XY. The rest of the presets of here are straightforward. There's no problems with them, using them with the standard objects. These are the ones that I've shown you here that do require a little bit of tweaking.